Good afternoon. My name's Alan Mayer. I'm a retired parish priest and I'm leading us through the Bible day by day. We've reached today, day 31. We're looking in this section of our Bible readings about how the biblical writers understood creation and our place in it. And today we're in the book of Leviticus, something written by the clergy of ancient Jewry. And we are in Leviticus chapter 23. I'm going to read verses 15 to the first half of 17, and then verse 20 to 22. 7 complete weeks, counting from the Sunday after the Sabbath, when you brought your first sheaf of corn to present to Yahweh, will have passed. On the 50th day, the day after the 7th Sabbath, you should present to Yahweh a fresh offering of corn. Every family should bring a couple of loaves and present them to Yahweh as a special gift. The priest will lift up the loaves in his hands and offer 2 lambs alive as a special gift to Yahweh for the priests. These are sacred offerings. On that day, refrain from your daily work and gather for worship instead. Your descendants, must observe this instruction forever, no matter where they are living. When you harvest your fields, do not cut the corn at the field boundaries, and don't return to tidy up any ears of corn that are left. Leave them for the poor and for strangers. I am Yahweh, your God. Once they had settled and occupied the land, the expectation was that the promised land would feed the people, and that there would be more than enough to feed everyone, including the poor, the needy, and any foreigners or strangers passing through. Many cultures, including that of medieval England, followed a similar practice of allowing the needy to take their share of the crops. And here in England, even the millers were glad to grind the corn for the poor at no cost. So, ideas of social responsibility arrive as a result of the prosperity that comes from living a settled life in a stable community. Now, notice that this is not seen as charity given to the poor. They have the gleanings as a right, as effective as a tax levied for them. It was evidently seen not so much as a personal responsibility as a communal obligation to look after the welfare of the needy and refugees far from home. Today, societies that do not do so may be judged not to have fulfilled this ancient obligation. Nowadays, the United Nations and non-government charities like Save the Children and Oxfam affirm that such an obligation crosses national boundaries. The world is a single community now, and our obligations have grown as the world has shrunk. Also seen as an obligation by the time these rules were codified by the professional priesthood was support for the families of the priests who conducted worship and performed the messy job of offering sacrifices to Yahweh. This has returned in modern times as an obligation to educate and support Christian clergy, Jewish rabbis and Islamic scholars and preachers. The clerical editor of this text put the clergy's needs first, but we know that the needs of the poor must take priority. Jesus said, "What you do for the least of these, you do for me." Tomorrow on day 32, we continue in Leviticus and we look at the ancient law, the ancient command to look after the promised land and to look after the people in it. See you tomorrow.